Hello friends, this is Scott, and we're taking a look at a problem that I've got down at the new hobby farm. And if you guys recognize, a lot of these mounds of dirt are packed down a little bit. They're not fresh, but anybody that knows the signs of what this means is you've got northern pocket gophers. A lot of people think these are voles or moles. These are pocket gophers. They're the ones that mound the dirt, and you usually don't see a hole because they completely, cover up their tunnels. But I've got lots of pocket gophers in this yard, as well as in the pasture. And these gophers, they eat the roots and they eat, the plants. So when I put plants in here, I don't want these gophers eating all my roots. When I put the trees and the vegetables, and they're just unsightly and they're just tearing up the yard. Now here's a fresh sign. This is where you can tell where they're at. Now I've got a little experience with these critters here in Salt Lake County, and I've got a few of them. There's one that's very active. He just started pushing dirt and left a hole open. So I went ahead and stuck a trap. Usually you take these traps and you stick one in a tunnel, one on each side. They go in different directions, so you don't know where the gopher is, and then they'll come down pushing dirt and they'll get snapped. But he was such a fresh hole that I thought I'd get that one the first few minutes, and I had a couple close calls with him. He was back and forth about every 10 minutes, but I couldn't get him. He kept burying the trap in dirt. But here's the back pasture, and there's lots of gophers here too. And these are dangerous for livestock because they can definitely break their legs or ankles because of stepping in holes. And with the city property all around, there's gophers everywhere. So I've got to get in here, and I'm not sure how many there are. They're generally pretty solitary creatures, but yeah, it looks like we've got quite a few to take care of. So we'll see if I get that first one, and then I'll bring more traps and see what I can do to get rid of these critters. But they're all over the place. So the first thing you do to figure out where they're exactly at the moment is you just go through and you just kick all these mounds of dirt over, just run them flat. And then you come out the next day or even a few hours later and you'll see where there's fresh dirt being moved around. And that's where you know where to start looking for a tunnel, an active tunnel. And then you dig down, you find the tunnel, you set your traps, you put a board over the top, you tie string to the traps because they'll drag them down into the hole, and you just try until you get them. Sometimes it's quick and sometimes it takes a while. But gophers, northern pocket gophers, are pest number one. Now here's pest number two. As we've got here, as you see, there's lots of wasps and flies. That's one thing about living in the country is you got lots of flies. But this tree is putting out some kind of sap, and I'm not sure what kind of tree this is, but the wasps were just all over it. Now, they had no interest in me. I'm standing right next to them. But, I've seen quite a few small wasp nests all over the property, so there'll be something I'm going to have to contend with. And the flies are definitely something I got to contend with. Anytime you have livestock, you got flies. So here's a look. I decided I was going to do a little bit of the yard upkeep. I hadn't mowed in a month, so as you see here, this is, so dry and hot that the weeds haven't grown that much, but it's getting a little unsightly, and I just want to cut everything down and get it looking so it, looks like the place isn't vacant. I did drag the hose around and water as much as I could, and I did get the weeds up along the side of the house and the front of the house. I did find the third major problem, which is other insects. There's huge spiders and a lot of earwigs along here. So I'm going to bring some bug killer. I'm going to spray the whole perimeter of this house just to help me out, because the spiders were pretty significant. I don't know if they were brown recluse or what they were, but they were pretty nasty looking. But it was so hot this weekend that I really didn't get a lot done other than just dragging a hose and mowing and pulling a few weeds. But, every little step forward is a step forward. Some weekends are just not as good as others. And I decided to take off on Saturday night. And here's a look through my dirty windshield at a kind of a pretty sunset to the west as I'm driving home. And I'm thinking about all the projects that I could have got done, and I just couldn't get it. The heat was just tremendous, and it was just not a good weekend for manual labor. So I'm happy I mowed, I'm happy I watered, but got a lot more to do. Well, thanks for watching this video, and I wish it was more exciting, but that's all I've got for you today. Thanks for watching.